Alright, today I'm going to make a pitcher. I've got 5 pounds of clay, so it should make a pretty good sized pitcher. I got a new clay here, Vashon White. I really like the Vashon Red, and I wanted a whiter clay for some of my glaze combinations. They just look better on white clay. So it's a really good clay. I really like this one. It throws really well. And so yeah, I'm just gonna throw this a little bit bigger, but basically what we'll do is we'll make a tall cylinder and then shape it into the shape of a vase. That should be pretty straightforward. So yeah, let's get started. Let's see, sponge. So centering, just cone it up after you seal it down to the bat. I'm throwing this on a bat. I have bats, lots of bats, so you don't have to deal with cutting it off of the wheel head and trying to move around a thin 5 pound form. It just usually just doesn't end up very well. So yeah, just cone up, cone down, just cone up again. Just try to get it tall this time. Try to cone up to where I want the final form to be as far as the height, at least on the final cone. Make sure you're not, when you're coning up, make sure you're not trapping anything in this top part here. Sometimes a little divot will form. That just means that you're not moving clay up on the inside, you're only moving it up on the outside. So if that happens, just flatten out the top and then squeeze it. So this looks pretty good. Remove clay from the buttress there. It's just going to suck clay up when you're throwing. So come back down. You want to kind of bend the clay forward and push it down into your other hand. Go ahead and use your sponge for extra lubrication. Okay. Once you got it centered, time to open it up. I'm centering kind of high here because it's a higher form. So you just go in the center there with your thumbs. Bring it down. Make sure you're controlling the outside of the thing while you're opening. And then once your thumbs have reached their limit, go ahead and switch to your hand here. And my middle finger is longer than the rest of my fingers, so I kind of let that lead when I'm opening down. Make sure the inside's pretty well lubricated. And I'm just opening it up in the middle here, widening it out. It's going to have a 90-degree angle on the inside here. I'm just compressing the bottom, making sure that the bottom is well compressed. You don't want that to be an issue later when it's drying or when it's firing. Even even when it's dry and it doesn't look like it because there's a crack, if you haven't compressed the bottom, sometimes a crack will happen when you fire it. And sometimes the crack will be really small when you do the bisque fire, but it'll get gigantic. It'll really open up during the glaze firing. So the glaze firing is when the clay is under the most stress. So okay, now we're just gonna color in. I'm gonna use my sponge, and if when you're throwing with a lot of clay, not that 5 pounds is a lot, but when you're throwing with more clay, I like to use my sponge, and I squeeze most of the water out, but when I color in, I just push in from the outside and go up into the walls here. Kind of compress back down, and I'll just do this a couple more times. It's not really a lift, but the clay doesn't have any place to go, so it goes up. So just do that. Now we're going to color in, because the easiest way to get height is to make sure that what you're working with is skinny. So when I'm coloring in, I'm leaving enough room inside for my hands to go, but not much more. And then always make sure that you compress the rim at the top afterwards, after your pulls. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a pull here. Just starting at the bottom, get a little divot going, and just kind of follow it up. Kind of keeping your movements in tune with the speed of the wheel. And then when you get close to the top and you can kind of reach out of the inside and brace your other hand, and it's always good to have your hand braced anytime you can. Brace your hands together and it'll make for a nicer pull. So we'll give her one more pull. Still have some clay in there to move up. Forego the sponge on this pull. I just need to be able to feel the clay here. There's that reach around. I'm not leaving a whole lot up here at the rim, but I am leaving a little bit extra because we're gonna put in a spout, and we're gonna thin that out before we do. Okay, this is pretty well thin. Just gonna touch it up, even it out just a little bit more here. Make sure the inside's nice and juicy. And we'll probably give it a little bit of shape here. So, just gonna bring it up. It's got a little bit of shape here. We're going to give it a little bit more. Get some of this water out of the bottom. Okay. I'm going to go with my hands just one more time. And then we'll switch to our rib so we can really get some good shape on it. I want it to be a little bit thinner at the base here, just for this specific form. And coming out, giving it a nice upper belly here. And back in. It's more of a shoulder than a belly at that point, right? Okay, now grab our rib. I use a steel rib. You can do a you can use a wooden rib. I just like the surface that a stainless rib leaves, and I can bend it so I can achieve shapes a little bit more easy when I'm throwing. Okay, just refine this and get rid of some of these slit marks. Now I'm going to put a kind of a steeper shoulder on it, and I'm just pushing out from the inside while holding my rib in a shouldery shape. Shouldery shape? I don't know. I'm just trying to form this shoulder here. This will help in pouring. If you've got a shoulder on your pitcher, the liquid bunches up there before it pours out so that you get a good pour. So I'm just kind of widening out this top part here. Another shaping pull here. I'm not pulling too hard with my inner hand, but I am pulling. Just to get the shape just right. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and trim the bottom here. Bringing it down. This won't be the most stable form for a pitcher, but should be plenty stable once there's some weight in it. So I'm just gonna remove some more of the throwing marks. Really get it nice and smoothed out. And then we'll work on this top part up here. Okay. Now we're gonna kind of step this out so there's the obvious neck, and then a step up. Kind of like like that. A little tiny bit taller if we can get a little bit more of this thickness out. This is why you want that, leave a little bit of clay up at the top when you're pulling so that you have some clay to work with. Okay. Now, I'm just going to color this top part in a little bit. Try to color it in without wobbling it too bad. Alright. While my chamois gets nice and rehydrated here, it was on the edge, I'm just going to pull the water out of the bottom. Smooth the inside walls. Come up here. A little bit more shape into this. Okay, so we'll chamois the rim here. Get it nice and homogenized. Then the front part. All right. Let's see. So basically, fingers. You're gonna pinch and pull up while you're pulling this one out. So it's kind of like it's an interesting motion anyway. Give it a look at, kind of even it out. There we go. So, when this gets a little bit drier, we'll go ahead and put a handle coming off the side here. Instead of like a handle on a mug, the ear-shaped one, I like to do a handle kind of like this, that's angled down. I find that's easier to pour with, so than an ear-shaped handle, where all the weight would be up in here if you're pouring, and it kind of awkward for your hand. But when it's this shape, it's real easy to pour. So yeah, the handle just goes whoosh. See here. See, it comes off. It comes off at a lower angle, whereas an ear-shaped one would bulb up and then go down. Yeah, that is a large pitcher. That's a 5-pound one. It's not too bad once you get the hang of going a little bit bigger. It's kind of like a really easy form. It's basically a vase with a handle and a spout. Anyway, thanks for watching.